all for the keynote session on the future of engineering talent, how to be ahead of the curve. Dear all, for this keynote session, we have with us Mr. PRASAD Shetye, Vice President, Capgemini Engineering India. I request Mr. Prasad sir to please occupy the dais. Thank you, sir. I'll take this opportunity to brief about sir's profile. Sir is an Executive Vice President at Capgemini Engineering India. He is serving Capgemini for more than 20 years. Sir is a part of Global Engineering Center India and leads delivery for some of the leading industry verticals and horizontal units in engineering, research and development, global business line. Since he joined Capgemini, he has been instrumental in building product engineering expertise across multiple sectors like medical devices, industrial products, high-tech, aerospace, automotive and software products. Sir has put forward his expertise through digital marketing, manufacturing, engineering design and simulation, technical publications, and more exactly a receptor in exponential technologies like IoT, AI, and cloud engineering. He has led global engineering partnerships with 75 plus customers, enabling them to launch more than 300 products in the market since last 20 years. He is also the location head for Capgemini Pune and has led from the front in establishing Pune as one of the best recognized locations in Capgemini India. Beyond the core business, Sir has steered Capgemini Pune towards holistic development, winning 25 plus corporate sports tournaments, motivating employees to drive various CSR activities, initiatives, and implementing multiple sustainability projects. He was the driving force behind many of the group initiatives to support the local government and the healthcare authorities in fight against COVID-19. He is a member of NASSCOM Engineering Services Forum, Western Region. He is a member of Hinjawadi Industry Association, Pune. Sir holds a bachelor degree in mechanical and master's degree in management from Mumbai University. He is a passionate sportsman and has represented his college and Capgemini Pune in various cricket tournaments. He is extremely a dedicated leader with a great eye for detail, strong ability to adapt to different environments, a complete team player, leading actively from the front and motivating teams along the journey. I request Sir to kindly accept a floral bouquet from PC2A team, and for this honor I call upon Dr. M. Kolte sir to kindly felicitate Prashant sir. Thank you, Prasad sir. Thank you, Kolte sir. I am assured that everyone is waiting for sir's session, so I'll hand over the session to Prasad sir now, because everyone is eagerly waiting for the sharings, what you are going to share.
शूटिंग करता हूँ तो बाहर ऑडियंस भी है अच्छा
नेटवर्क इश्यू त्यामुळे जात नाही
तिथं थांबलो आपण ठीक आहे 5 मिनिटाचं काम आहे ना म्हणून थांबलो त्याला पाठवून दिला आता त्याला गेलं यायला बरोबर बस मी जाऊन माझं काय इथे हे पण मला नाही तर करावं लागलं कुठेतरी असं थांबून लिंक चेक करावं लागेल जाऊ ते करण्यापेक्षा इथंच करू अशी धावपळ होणारच मला मागं राहणार का उलटा घ्यायचा उलटा घ्यायचा आपलाच आवाज तू पहिलं सांगितलं
Hello. So, a very good afternoon to all of you. Sorry for the delay in starting the presentation because of technical glitches. You know, all the technology conferences, you always face these kinds of glitches, and we see these kinds of experiences in our organizations. So, very quickly, I'm going to touch upon something which is very interesting for all of you to understand, and this is on the how to really build up the talent as far as the engineering R&D space is concerned, where we have seen so many emerging technologies that are coming up, and how do we really cater to that, because India on the global arena is really moving at a very fast pace in terms of innovation and new product development. So I'm going to touch upon some of those things, how we have been able to anticipate proactively some of these issues, and we have been able to tackle this. So very quickly, just to give you an idea, before I start into the talent piece, just to give you a quick idea about what is Capgemini. So most of you might be aware, Capgemini, you might have seen and you might have heard, this is into IT services and consulting. What I'm going to talk about is the engineering side of Capgemini, which I'm sure at least 75–80% of the people in the room do not know about it. So I'm going to quickly talk about it and what we do as a part of Capgemini Engineering. I think that will set up a context of why we need to really build up the talent and how we have been able to do it. So Capgemini Engineering is a... So first of all, many of you may not be aware, but we work with 2/3 of the top 500 global R&D spenders, and we are ranked as a strategic partner by almost 50 of those companies. So if you look at any global 500 organization, at least 2/3 of them work with Capgemini in the R&D space. Of course, these are all R&D engagements, so not too many things are disclosed about it, because there are so many things which are IP sensitive and they are patented. So therefore, there are a certain amount of secrecy is maintained here. But this is what is the identity of Capgemini Engineering. So Capgemini globally has 360,000 people. And out of that 360,000 people, 60,000 people work only in core engineering. Right? 1/6 of the employee base is in Capgemini Engineering. Worldwide, we are #1 in engineering R&D space. The #2 player is almost half of our size. That's the kind of numbers we are talking about. Out of that 60,000 people, 27,000 people operate out of India. Just to give a quick idea about what we do as a part of engineering, what you see on the screen is a project called Project Samruddhi. You see a small tiny car on the right hand side, but this is the car which gets driven without a driver. This is an autonomous car. And this autonomous car was built up by Capgemini engineering team along with some of our partners within Capgemini and also some of the outside partners. And this is the vehicle which is currently running in our Bangalore campus without a driver. So there is an IoT enabled, there is a 5G connectivity, there is an embedded connectivity. So if you really look at the hardcore automotive R&D space, most of the technologies are incorporated here, and this is what we have built up for one of our automotive customers. Okay, and if you take the top 10 global players in automotive, we are working actually out of 9 out of those 10 people. The second example of what we do as a part of engineering is on the screen here. This is a large global medical devices organization. And what you see on the right hand side is a device which is used by orthopedic surgeons to do a knee replacement surgery. Now, one will wonder what Capgemini has done here as far as this product is concerned. This product is already available in most of the hospitals in India. Got launched about 1.5 years back in the North America market, and almost at the same time it got launched in India as well. Right? And what we have done here, this is the product where an orthopedic surgeon, so when a surgery happens, so today if you really look at a knee replacement surgery, the success rate of knee replacement surgery was close to about 45 to 50%. And that was one of the reasons is when we talk about the knee replacement surgery, the contour of the two bones, where really some kind of a cutting of the bone is required. That contour has to be, the image of that contour has to be mapped properly so that the orthopedic surgeon is able to cut the unrequired surface of the bone. If that doesn't happen appropriately, and if you cut the bone little more or little less, in that case the surgery doesn't happen appropriately, and therefore most of the surgeries they fail. This particular device, what the team has done here is, when a surgery happens, the bones, the imaging of the bones happens through a device where there are certain algorithms which are written. Those algorithms are designed by Capgemini. After the mapping of the bone images are done, then the orthopedic surgeon is guided through a path, through that algorithm, to cut only the required portion of the bone so that he doesn't overcut, he doesn't undercut. Now with this, even a average skilled orthopedic surgeon can actually do a very precision knee surgery. With this particular device now, and many a time in Pune as well, you see a lot of hoardings where they say it's a robotic surgery. The robot doesn't do a surgery. The surgery is being done by the orthopedic surgeon with the help of very precision device, which helps him to do a surgery with a very minutest precision. And this is where the surgery percentage or the success percentage has actually gone up to 85 to 90%. Now, this is a application which is for the knee surgery, but we are also working with the same customer for a hip surgery as well as the shoulder surgery. The entire algorithm for this, for the next generation platform, is done by Capgemini Engineering, and this product is already there in the market. So this is an example in the medical and life sciences. If you look at such examples in the last almost 15 years, we might have helped our customers to launch more than 850 products in the market. Okay? And that is what India is making a difference to the global markets. I mean, many people do not know about it, but there are multiple examples where we are working in the aerospace sector, we are working in the railways, we are working in telecommunication. So for example, we are already talking about 5G, but as far as engineering is concerned, we have already set up a 6G lab in our Mumbai premises, right? Because working in R&D, you know that you need to be ahead of the curve, right? You need to think about how the customer's next product line is going to look like. So you need to be at least 2 to 3 years ahead of the current product cycles that you need to look at, right? So these are few examples I picked up from the engineering point of view, and therefore it's very challenging to get people working on such kinds of complex engagements. The skills are completely different. It is not a regular Java or a .NET or a C++. You need people with the engineering acumen. You need people with the innovation. You need people with some kind of a competitive kind of thinking, and at the same time the skills like embedded technologies or IoT or machine learning. So these are the kinds of things that are required. When we looked at challenges that we were facing in order to get those skills, we came across a lot of articles as well as research which talked about what challenges that academia is talking about. And academia was talking about that, you know, they were concerned about the gaps in the knowledge of the candidates or who are coming out of the colleges compared to the compatibility with the industries. In short, what industry was looking for, perhaps, you know, the same skills were not there in the curriculum of many of the colleges, and that's what one of the reasons what academia talked about. Secondly, we also need to ensure that our employees who are working on these engagements have a prior experience on working in the labs so that they can focus on the proof of concepts, prototypes and so on. So you need to have those facilities available with the academia as well. When we looked at what industry is facing, industry leaders, they were proposing that some of these engagements where you need to have a knowledge in specific emerging skills, need to be a part of the curriculum of many of the institutes. And how can we bring that as a part of the curriculum? Because there are curriculums which were decided by the university. Is there any way in which we can do the intervention? So that was what industry was really talking about. So there was a gap between what industry's expectations were and what academia was able to provide to us. So when we looked at Capgemini perspective on this particular topic, we felt that academia was far behind what industry needs we were talking about. 2012 was the time when we were talking to a very big mining conglomerate in the globe. So it was a third largest mining company in the world in 2012, where we were started talking about predictive asset health management and machine learning and artificial intelligence. Those were the topics that were quite new. People were not aware about it, and they were looking for us to help them to set up an innovation center in India. There was an innovation center they had in Australia. They wanted us to set up there, but those kinds of skills were not available. So we found that it is important to understand how we can build up those skills. Secondly, one of the research showed that almost 70-75% of the engineers who are passing out of the engineering colleges, they cannot be directly deployed onto the engagement that are there in the engineering industry. And we need to ensure that how we can actually bridge those gaps. So there were infrastructure gaps, there was skill shortage, there was a lack of appropriate knowledge facilities. These were the academic challenges we were facing. Similarly, if you look at industry expectations, we were looking for people with multidisciplinary engineering skills. We were looking at people with robotics, IoT, and skills where they will be able to grasp some of the complex technological processes. And there was a large demand for very niche and emerging skills. When I say niche, is Industry 4.0, digital manufacturing, 5G, product lifecycle management, and so on. Then we said that can we join hands? Can industry join hands with academia? Is there a way in which we can work on a collaborative model? I'm talking about maybe 5 years back when we started thinking in that direction, because in one of the conferences our group CEO mentioned that we will have to invest in talent if you have to really grow in the engineering sector. It is not going to come overnight, and if there are certain reforms that we have to bring in, we will have to lead from the front. So we looked at examination reforms. Can we align engineering education with the global needs? We looked at putting up some kind of model curriculum. So for example, if product lifecycle management is not a subject today in the curriculum, can we bring in that subject with the help of the collaboration with the college? We looked at AI, ML, IoT, robotics, cloud computing as all these emerging skills as a part of the curriculum. We also looked at setting up of the labs, which means that infrastructure management became a big focus area. Can we set up labs along with the colleges? And can we look at students in the 6th, 7th and 8th semester where all these things can be important? One of the key problem was the faculty members, because the faculty members who will train the students, they had very little idea about the technologies that we were talking about. A lot of people were doing research and their PhDs in those subjects, but direct relevance to the experience from the industry point of view, we needed to do a lot of work there. So most of the faculty members, they had done their engineering maybe 15 years back, 20 years back, and we needed to bring them on board to ensure that they can act as trainers for the students. So we looked at all these elements, and then we felt that we need to have a program in place where we can do a very successful collaboration with the academy. Therefore, Capgemini came with a very unique approach. We said that first of all, we need to brand this program so that it becomes popular in the academia. We said that the name which was suggested was Engineering Excellence Connect. Connect with the academia, connect with students, connect with the customers. And we felt that this is a win-win proposal if we are really able to execute very well. And the strategic objective that we were looking at is how can we invest and build the talent to become a preferred employer? Can Capgemini really invest, build up the talent so that we become a preferred employer? And we looked at a situation where there are 3 key stakeholders. Capgemini as an industry, university or the institute, and third stakeholder was student. And we looked at all those skills which I talked about are required in the engineering industry. So for example, product life cycle management, VLSI, biomedical. I talked about a medical example some time back, but then we needed people with biomedical or bioengineering background. At least 1/3 of the team needed to be with that particular skill. And Capgemini as an organization, we were hardly having those kinds of skills. So we needed to ensure that we build up that skill and also some of the relevant topics in the curriculum so that we were able to execute those complex medical engagement. Then we looked at full stack, model-based system engineering, Industry 4.0, 4G, 5G, and then also mobile wireless, automotive. So we identified 14 skills which we felt that are core to our engineering business, and we started looking at those universities or colleges where we can collaborate for a particular skill for ensuring that about 7th and 8th semester, the final year of engineering, where we can intervene and look at the syllabus and also train the faculty. So we looked at the model. There was a 4-step process: selection of the institute, where we can look at autonomous colleges, their NAC ranking, the infrastructure that they have, the batches that they are churning out every year. Finalization of the skill, because in some cases we felt that biomedical as a course itself was not there. There are some colleges which had introduced that biomedical course, so it was easier for us to intervene at an early stage. Then we also looked at putting up the infrastructure. So a lot of colleges, they had space, but they did not know how to really put up the lab and set up the lab and get the POCs going. And finally, the execution was very important. So we looked at from both the sides, from Capgemini as well as from the respective institute. We need to have mentors, we need to have SPOCs, and there has to be a very strong governance between the two entities to ensure that to look at the progress of the entire program, whether we are off the gear, we are on the track, what we need to do, and things like that. So this was the 4-step process we looked at. We also looked at between 7th and 8th semester, specific students from a particular batch that we have selected, can we provide them internship opportunities with Capgemini so that they get exposure to working with Capgemini as a corporate. And with this entire program, at the end of the year, so we started in the 7th semester by identifying students from a specific batch. We started coaching them. Let's say a batch of 50 people, there are 30 people who showed interest in a particular skill. And we mentored them through the faculty members, coached them with that particular skill as a subject. And at the end of 7th semester, we give internship opportunities, and at the end of 8th semester, when the course gets completed, we assess the students, and then after their examination, we directly onboard into Capgemini. So let's say out of 50, batch of 50 students, we are able to onboard 25 or 30 at the end of the year. That's the kind of a success that we were talking about. In many cases, we are actually able to pick up the entire batch, almost 90%, because the students showed a lot of interest in the technology in which they were mentored. And so this is a slightly detailed program. We looked at 4th year, 7th semester. We also looked at, in some cases, 3rd year, 6th semester. So that certain foundation courses, if it is needed for a specific skill, we can impart that. And the entire leadership team of Capgemini Engineering played a vital role here. There are more than 120 senior leaders in Capgemini Engineering, starting with about 16 vice presidents. There are 50 senior directors. There are 70 director level people who are involved in this program. Every director, every senior director is responsible for a particular skill, particular college. Their responsibility is very clear. I'll talk about that as we go along. But it's a complete ownership of every individual to make this particular program successful. So roles and responsibilities, as I mentioned, the skill owners are the engineering leaders. So if I am the VP, I'm managing product lifecycle management. I will manage all the collaborations across the country for PLM, and I will ensure that my team, which is consisting of senior directors and directors, each person will be responsible for one college for product lifecycle management. Then we had college sponsors. So I might be having 6 collaborations across the country, but in every city I will have one college sponsor who will be the touch point for the college to go to. And the third one is the program champions. These are the line managers who are responsible for a day-to-day operational activities with the college. Right? If there's a seminar which is getting organized in the college, the line manager or the program champion will be completely taking the responsibility of what support Capgemini needs to give for that particular seminar. And governance was very important. The slide is slightly busy, but these are our monthly progress reviews that we do with every skill, with every program champion across all our 14 skills. It's almost a 2.5 hours of total 5-hour call for 2 days as a part of the governance mechanism, where we get into the details in terms of how many students have registered, what is the status of doing some thought leadership sessions, how many programs that we are conducting there, what is the participation from the college, what is the participation from Capgemini, and so on. So detailed review of activities and monthly and quarterly visits. So every sponsor needs to visit the college at least once in 45 days. That's a mandate which is being given to them. And then monitoring the outcomes in terms of where we are, what is the result that we are getting, what are the campus interview status, what are the next actions, and also ensuring that we are able to improve our visibility into the college. We are able to get the faculty members and students also into Capgemini to give them that exposure. Investments and benefits. So very clearly we had identified what Capgemini will do, what the institute or the university will do. Capgemini will be spending the entire executive bandwidth, as I mentioned, right from the vice president to director, senior director level. There are people who are in the board of studies of various colleges that we have, because we are able to provide vital inputs from the curriculum point of view. There are teams from our marketing department as well as our fresher hiring department who come into the picture, who ensure that we are able to provide those inputs. And we ensure that the connectivity is established between Capgemini and the college consistently. I mean, we ensure that there is no gap in terms of, if the students need some kind of a support on a particular subject, our people are able to provide them. From the academic point of view, we got a lot of support in terms of setting up of the labs, ensuring that the students are able to, the initial foundation courses, if they need to be conducted, the college is able to provide it. In some colleges, in fact, some of the soft skill training was also given to the students, because we felt that there was some gap there. So it's actually a very collaborative effort between Capgemini and the colleges. And when we do the reviews with the colleges, there are a lot of these points gets discussed, and then we take action accordingly. Beyond these activities that I was talking about, there are various events which Capgemini was organizing within the campus. So there's an event called Tech Fiesta, which we conduct across 8 locations in India, and there all the technological experts at the demos, they get displayed. We actually call some of the experts for conducting some of the sessions. So we had invited faculty members from the institutes last year. They also visited our labs, so physically see what we do, saw our demos. Similarly, there are events in the colleges like this where we participate, and last year also when we had similar kind of event, 2 of my colleagues, one talked about Industry 4.0 and the other one talked about medical and life sciences. So these are the kinds of programs that we ensure that we are able to do it. Internship program for Capgemini, when we ask the students to join us for 6 to 8 weeks, is a very, very structured program where he gets an exposure of Capgemini. So there are a lot of activities which we do, which is engagement beyond hiring. So how did we really look at this program? When we started it as an idea, we signed the first collaboration with PCCOE, I think prior to COVID, in model-based system design. That was the first one which we signed. And then over a period of time now, there are 4 collaborations that we have signed in a span of last 18 months. And this is the way we actually went ahead across the country, and we signed close to 57 MOUs with different colleges across 14 skills. And in the process, we were able to set up 35 labs across those colleges. And you'll see that the map is not clearly visible, but this is pan-India. So there are colleges in South, there are colleges in West, North also we have a strong presence in areas like Noida and Gurgaon. And also two of the collaborations in the eastern part, which is Calcutta. Biomedical is a skill which we are able to get in the eastern part of the country. So India is full of talent actually. If we are really able to identify the right colleges who have the right skills, and we are able to tap that well in advance, I think, and invest into the relationship building and this kind of program, you are able to really do wonders. And what wonders we have been able to do it? This is the result, where we started in 2019 in a small way. 21 and 22 were the two peak years where we really have gone all out across India post-COVID. And we were able to do more than 200 activities, engagement activities across these 57 MOUs, 33 colleges. And as a result of that, we were actually able to get 1,500 students who are well trained across 14 skills and who are ready to onboard, right? So these are the people, I will not call this as fresh engineers. These are actually 1 year experienced engineers on a niche skill, which you will not be able to find in the marketplace. Today, if you go into the market and try and hire somebody with, let's say, 5G skills, you will not be able to find it. But today, we have been able to create a batch of 60 people who are 5G trained. They have been trained in our labs, and they are ready to onboard. I'm going to talk about some of the successes that we got from the customers as we have gone along, because that is where the organization was really looking forward to, that how this has really benefited in winning the business, winning the deals. Okay. So this was a quick snapshot of our achievements. Let's talk about the successful customer engagements. Okay, I will pick up one or two examples from here, and then I will elaborate on that. So beginning of 2022 or end of 2021, we were bidding for a very big deal, almost worth 50 million euros. Okay, and this was in product lifecycle management. Okay? The deal was in such a way that out of that 50 million, I think the first year was about 12 million, and then subsequent years it was going into 3. Product lifecycle management was a big skill. In the first 4 months time frame, we actually had to migrate the entire data from the earlier platform in PLM to the new platform in PLM, and we needed to have a team of about 150 people ramped up in a span of 90 days. So in the final stages, when we were defending our proposal and we were presenting to the customer, they said that what is your differentiating strategy for scaling up the team to about 150 people? So typical answer is we will roll out some of the people from the other projects. We will get experienced people from the market. There are some projects where we will be able to manage by taking out the seniors. We said that out of 150 people, 60 people will come from this program called Engineering Excellence Connect. And this is a program, we presented the program to them. We said that if you want to talk to some of our students who are almost 1 year experience, who are going to join us in next 2 months time frame, you please go ahead and do that. The customer was really thrilled to see this kind of a strategy, because they needed a pyramid. And in the pyramid you will have senior people, mid-level people, and people who are at a junior level. And these were almost 1 year experienced students who were supposed to join us. Today, against that 150 people, we are 290 people team. That 150 people we actually scaled up in exactly 90 days, and the customer could not believe in that. All those 50 students who joined from 3 of our MOU colleges, they are there, they acted as our ambassadors. We onboarded just a month back the second batch on this particular engagement, and today we are at 290 people engagement. So that's a big success, one of the biggest engagement which we have in a niche skill, which we have been able to scale up in such a short time frame. The second one is in technical publications. So what do you mean by technical publications? We work with a very large aeroplane manufacturer. Okay, so there are top 2 manufacturers across the globe, and one of them is our very strong customer. We do almost 400 million euros business every year with them, and this is a Capgemini customer. So there are various departments, the IT department, the R&D department, everybody works with them. We work in the area of technical publications. Technical publications is nothing but the manuals of all these aeroplanes, as and when it undergoes changes, maybe because of the digital upgrade, and the manuals needs to be upgraded. And to do that, you need specific type of skills. The base level skill is people with the aerospace engineering background. So for the last 2 years, we have been able to sign 8 collaborations with different colleges, and we have been able to train people for the 7th and 8th semester on technical publications, which is digital technical publications. Any upgrade that happens, any aeroplane when it is grounded, the fault finding etc. actually comes to India, into Capgemini Bangalore office, and then within a specific time frame, you need to turn around the problem. Today, we have close every year, there are about 200 people who are joining from this particular program, and we have been able to ramp up that team from existing 400 people to 1,000 people. And most of the people who are coming every year, we are just taking from the MOU colleges. We are not hiring from the market, because once we hire from the market, to train them, it takes another 4 months for us to do it. Whereas here, we have been able to train them for last 1 year. We have actually formed an academy with that particular customer within Capgemini, and we train them here. So that's the second example on technical publication. And the third one is biomedical. So the first example which I showed you about robotic surgery, this is a team of about 50 people. Out of that, 20 people have come from that MOU program which we have signed, and all these are biomedical engineers. So when one of our customers, they came to see the lab, and the presentation was done by a girl who was only 23 years old. And then at the end of the presentation, they asked us, what is your educational background? She said that I am from biomedical background. Oh, what are you doing in the IT industry? She said that, look, this entire algorithm which has been designed, okay, by our team, I am one part of that team. And I am proud to be a part of that team, because I am touching lives of so many people and making helping them to make the knee replacement surgery more successful compared to what we've seen in the past. So all these kinds of work that we are doing, whether it's in life sciences, whether it is in aerospace, or whether it is in the area of communication, it is actually touching the lives of the people, or we are using this in a day-to-day life. Because we work across 10 different industry verticals, starting with automotive, aerospace, product, medical and life sciences, right up to communication. So in each and every area where we are working in, finally it is benefiting the end patient or end customer. We received a lot of media coverage on this particular program that we ran. So there were more than 2 million impressions on the social media, more than 45,000 likes, and 132,000 clicks. So this is one of the highest, I would say, visible campaign that was getting run in the social media by Capgemini. We also got a lot of coverage in the media, in the print media. The article, so Times of India contacted me when they heard about this program, and then I wrote that article on critical need for industry academia collaboration, what you see, which got printed in the Educational Times. And then these are some of the event snapshots. These are all labs that we signed across the country. Some of the politicians also, they got interested because they were running a lot of educational institutes, and they said that we want to learn about this program. And some of them actually attended our MOU inauguration program. These are some of the labs that we inaugurated. So after the MOU is signed, our mandate internally is within 3 to 6 months time frame, we should be able to establish a lab in that particular college, because we should be able to start the next level of engagements in those colleges very quickly, and our people will get involved along with the faculty members and the students. The Tech Fiesta that we organized last year in Capgemini campus across 6 locations here, you will see there are more than 120 academia faculty members who participated, who attended. The faculty members got an exposure to visit Capgemini, to visit the very sensitive labs that we have in the premises, and they got to know that how is that the technology that we are coaching the students on, how that gets deployed finally at the customer's end. Connect with academia. So the Connect with Academia is a continuous process. Every month there are events like this are happening, and my leadership team is traveling all over the place to ensure that we are able to talk to faculty members, we are able to talk to students, and we are able to talk to various experts from the industry to share our best practices. So to conclude, what I would say is Engineering Excellence Connect as a brand, Capgemini established to connect with academia, to build up the talent, to invest into the talent for future. We felt that it was a win-win-win approach for the different stakeholders. The first stakeholder was the industry, which is Capgemini itself. So what is the benefit Capgemini got from here? We actually got an industry-ready talent. We shifted the entire program for about, which would take about 6 to 8 months after the student would have joined us. Prior to joining us, the student was ready with the specific focus on the niche fields. It also helped us to give them internship opportunities and therefore align the student to the company culture. It also helped us to ensure that we are able to bring up either the loyalty or the employee retention in the employees. It also gave us an opportunity for our senior employees to get connected with the academia. Many of them wanted to get connected with the academia. They wanted to go back to their own colleges and teach and connect with the students. This gave an opportunity to them. This was a very big plus that we observed, which we had not anticipated, that those 120 senior people which I talked about who are connected with the colleges today, they are extremely motivated because they feel that they are able to give it back to the society. Academia, so if you really look at from the academia point of view, academia got the exposure to different technologies, the faculty members got trained, academia got aligned to the latest technology trends, and also because Capgemini was onboarding a specific set of people or students from that batch, automatically the placement was guaranteed. I think the biggest beneficiary here, apart from industry and academia, is the student. Never the student would have got an opportunity to get trained on an emerging technology. Most of the times as engineers, when we have got onboarded into the organization, after that we have got trained over a period of time as we were doing our job. Here the student actually got benefited because 1 year prior to he passing out, he is able to get trained onto an emerging technology. Also exposure to the industry experts, because most of us are going to the institutes, so we are talking to the students. Students are getting that kind of a benefit to hear about the technological trends. And identification of the skill gaps at a very early stage. So if there are skills where there's a gap in terms of learning, I think that became a part of the curriculum modification and intervention into the curriculum, and we were able to do that. And the student got benefit from there. So overall, I think the overall approach was a win-win-win approach for all the three stakeholders, and we were able to really succeed with the kind of result which I have shown. Today we are from one division, which is Capgemini Engineering, where we have been able to successfully execute 57 collaborations. We are taking this to the entire Capgemini, because Capgemini has more than 10 units. And we are the single unit where we have such a large presence in the academy. So we are taking this entire successful model within our own organization, whether it's financial services, whether it's manufacturing, whether it's other IT departments, and we are trying to ensure that we get a success there as well. So this has been a benefit. This has been a big benefit to Capgemini as an organization itself, because of Capgemini Engineering taking the lead. Well, that was my last slide on this, and if there are any questions, I'll take them.
Any questions from audience?
This will require half a day to digest.
Thank you.
here, I would like to thank Prasad sir for wonderful insights and the research he shared. Thank you again for elaborating on Engineering Excellence Connect. I request sir, please be seated off the dais. Thank you. Now, here is an announcement for everyone. We'll be having a short tea break for 10 minutes.
लेट झाले तर
Okay, so we'll start with valedictory function within the next 10 minutes. Immediately we'll start with valedictory.